All right, folks, we're entering, I'm going to say we're entering the endgame, although it's really early to be entering the endgame. And the reason I say that is because we're entering the phase where I try to create an endgame, because we're getting really close. We're getting really, really close. And I found out something this turn that makes me very, very happy. So, looking at messages, we summoned another Ditan, who I actually still need to name. Oh boy, what do I call this? I mean, Kanan is a pretty good thematic name, but it's not a rapper. Who have I got already? I've got the Real Slim Shady, Snoop Dogg, Notorious B.I.G., Old Dirty Bastard. I think we have to move into the moderns at this point. I think we're gonna name this guy, I think we'll name him Childish Gambino. Alright, there we go. Don't have full gear for him yet, but we're getting there. He also has a pair of chi shoes, so he gets more attacks than everybody else. Yay. And he randomed Astral, so he can cast Astral Shield on himself. Old Dirty Bastard is back with us. He's moving up here to take out these knights that captured a province. I have a lot of scouts moving north, up towards 128, and the reason for that is Ulm, who has, of course, Earthblood Deepwell active, and, of course, I'm making 12 Earth Gems a turn, so he's got a ton of Earth Gem income to play with, is starting to forge me Gate Cleavers. And I need Gate Cleavers, of course, because we're going to need to take 187. So, here's the interesting factor. This is an indie province. Satis doesn't own this. Claymen, militias, fire snakes, heavy infantry, and archers. And I mean, this army might be able to take them. Unlikely, but possible. I'm thinking... Here's what I'm thinking. Nahum has got all the giants. I'm thinking I send Nahum and Lycastos. Actually, I'm thinking I send the whole army in. I mean, I've got 50 human slaves. That's 500 hit points. These guys are 53 each, except for this one who's at 5. So they're already not going to HP route because of the slaves. Yeah, I think I'm gonna send this army in, because this is like Claymen, militias, fire snakes, which aren't very scary to me, heavy infantry, and archers. They do have a netter of kings, but I'm just going to do it. They've got to go somewhere. I'm moving this army in to take Pavonia. And I am taking the Real Slim Shady, who I have given a Storm Spool. And he is going to hop down here and hit this throne with the Springhawks. He should be fine, because with the Blessing and the Storm Spool, he's shock resistant 15. So, he'll just bless himself turn 1. And then he will end up surrounded by Springhawks. And they shouldn't be able to hurt him, because he will have shock resistance 25. And at that point, he can just pretty much stand there stabbing them for ever? Basically forever. I could send Snoop Dogg or Notorious B.I.G. instead, but I don't think they do particularly better, so we're just going to send the Real Slim Shady. He'll take that province. I also have Macklemore right here. Macklemore was, of course, moving to take Star Peaks, but Ulm beat me to it, so finally... Ooh, there's a Holberg settlement here. That's kind of cool. Vanheim has finally been defeated. Star Peaks is now under our control. It's not making much money because it's been pillaged for a number of turns. But Macklemore will move up here, and then he'll go take the Soaked Earth. So we'll take both of these provinces back. We will move troops into Canese Plain and fortify it. And speaking of fortifying, I have more or less stopped mage recruitment at this point. I'm still recruiting in my capital. I'm still recruiting... valuable indies. I'm still recruiting crystal sorceresses and such, but mainly I'm recruiting 1 million human slaves. And that is because they are the most cost-efficient siege chaff that I have. So, the plan here is, I'm going to churn out human slaves basically everywhere I can, especially in the thrones. And I'm going to use them to just sit on the thrones and keep anyone from potentially capturing them. I've stopped recruiting Anakites. I'm still recruiting another Talmai Elder, but after that, I'll stop that as well. Tupac is here waiting to get that fire booster and be saved. He's got a limp battle fright and has lost his arm, so he's not really worth it at this point, but come on, it's Tupac. We gotta save Tupac, guys. Like, we can't let Tupac die. I could forge my own this turn, actually, ironically, but I might as well get it from Ulm at this point. He's got it forged. So he'll ship it over, and Tupac will be okay. We've retaken this province, so we have our Death Gem income back, and we're going to move this guy back towards Vanheim. And like I said, we're just going to stack troops. We're patrolling in Vanheim to try and get rid of the damn unrest. We're going to pile troops on the thrones, because the only thing that will matter in a few turns is holding the thrones. So this army is going to roll through here, together with the Adon thugs. We may build a lab here in Canese Plain so they can pick up a holy booster as they go, because Ulm, of course, is at construction level 8, and so is forging the holy boosters. He also has this Magus Temple where he has not, I believe, been recruiting Magi, and I think that's because they don't really give him any new abilities. But so, we've got this. We're about to take this. We still need to actually claim the Throne of the Second Age. He's forging the Immaculate Shield this turn, Nasajin is, and then he'll forge the Sword of Justice and the Sword of Injustice, both of which are holy boosters. So we'll have a total of 4 claimers. After that, it will be a question of, can we hold the thrones? So we're building a giant palisade here. It's going to take 3 more turns. Uzziah is searching for magic sites, and then I'll try to free up the money to throw down a lab there so he can summon stuff. And then I'm going to start pumping all of my gems also into summoning. This turn, I sent all my Earth, Fire, and Death gems over to Ulm to help him with forging. Pretty soon, though, he's forging Gate Cleavers for scouts, so that my scouts can pick up Gate Cleavers here, can filter up to the new coast, and then when I attack the new coast, they can make sure that the walls break. I don't know how many troops Bandar Log has in the new coast. It's only a palisade. I would think he would have upgraded it by now to a fortification, to a fortress. But maybe he's just piling troops there. He's got a big pile of troops coming over here to Marignan to try and retake that. And he's got... Marignan has some units in this citadel here, but basically they can't stop me at this point. They don't have the power, especially because Nazca is making a huge push against Bandar Log and doing a ton of damage. So let me make this clear. I am now gambling with the game because Sai is actively winning the war at this point. Nazca is pushing back everyone who's fighting him because Ulm and I are not fighting him. And as a consequence, a lot of their troops have been freed up. They are beating back Satis and Pangaea. They are definitely beating back Bandar Log. Like, Bandar Log is suffering, since, of course, they have noblesse. So, they're struggling. And, of course, Marignan has been reduced to a pitiful rump state. So, 2 versus 3, Mictlan and Satis and Mictlan and Nazca, sorry, I'm losing my mind. Mictlan and Nazca have got this 2v3. Basically, my goal is to make sure that it doesn't matter. So long as I have enough defense everywhere they can reach that they can't actually take my thrones, it'll be okay. So, that is the plan. And as you can see, I'm moving my army in this direction. I'm moving Thar and Pinchas actually are the ones that I'm moving. Everyone else is kind of still sitting here because it is going to take a few turns to set up here. But I've got that throne. About to take that one. About to take that one. At that point, all we need is 187 and throne claimants. So, do need to take the Promised Land, which I'll do really soon here. That will probably be a job for Tupac. Tupac still can carry a shield, so I can give him the Immaculate Shield, have him hit the Promised Land. As soon as I get... Yeah, I need to look at Conjuration here. As soon as I possibly can, I want to summon a Hashmal. But for that, I need an Astral Random, and then I need to empower him in fire, as I said. So, yeah. Actually, that does mean that I probably need to keep my fire gems. Yeah, I need to keep my fire gems for a couple of turns. Because as soon as I get an astral, I'm hoping, I'm crossing my fingers, knocking on wood, that this Tell My Elder that comes out just now will be an astral random. Because boy, I need it. Of course, we're using a lot of astral pearls forging those boosters, because 2 of them require astral pearls. The Immaculate Shield requires a lot of astral pearls, and the Sword of Justice requires a lot of astral pearls. The Sword of Injustice only requires death. So as soon as he gets the Immaculate Shield and the Sword of Justice done, I'm going to ask Nasajin to start funneling me all his pearls and some fire gems. Because I can use them to, I'll be able to use them to summon Ophans, and Ophans are holy too. I can slap a booster on it, hop him over here. They're flying, they're really fast. It'll be really well. It'll be really good, I meant. I'm more or less giving up on getting nature active. I'm not going to be able to have regeneration on my giant thugs. So, interesting question. Do Ophans have feet? That is, or Hashmals. Do Hashmals have feet? 1 second. No, they do not. They only have hand and miscellaneous slots. Okay then. So I can't put boots on them. Unfortunate. Well, oh well. It'll be alright. So we're gonna gear up Childish Gambino. We'll have him research for now, I guess. Contribute his 6 points. We'll also have Dar research since he's not... Actually, no. Dar, drop that back off, and I need you to be moving towards the front, because that is where the excitement is going to happen. Actually, no. Move up here, because excitement is going to happen here as well. We need Vokan to be as well defended as it possibly can be. And I would love to upgrade it to a giant castle. That would give it 250 extra wall integrity. Although, to be honest, more siege defense is in a lot of ways more valuable because... am I still recruiting anything I can cancel? Yeah, I'm going to cancel the Jade Sorceress. Because siege defense is subtracted from the sieger's attack every turn, as opposed to the walls just sit there and get reduced every... So it's like this. If you have a fort with 500 wall integrity against somebody with 250 siege attack, then the 500 wall integrity is reduced by 250 each turn, and it's cracked in 2 turns, right? Well, if you have a palisade with 100 wall integrity and 250 siege defense, so 350 points total, quote-unquote, then somebody with 250 siege attack will never break your walls, because the 250 siege defense is subtracted from the damage they're doing every single turn. So, in many ways, it's actually more valuable to have more siege defense as opposed to spending time and money upgrading the fort. So that's my theory here. So we're just going to pile slaves in everywhere we can. We're going to recruit a whole bunch of slaves here, excuse me, and ship them up to Black Alps and Canese Plain. We're not going to have time to fortify the new coast because the new coast will be the end of the rush. When we hit the new coast, that's it. This is it. It's the end. Either we win or we don't. And if we don't, then we're going to be in a very precarious situation. But I don't think there's a way to end this that doesn't involve being in a very precarious situation. Because, like, straight up, I think if I went to war against Satis without any other distractions, I think I might lose. Satis is, for one thing, Nuclear Monkey is an extremely good player. For another thing, he has the tools to shut down thugs very effectively because Scala Spam just absolutely shuts down thugs. And he also has his Empoisoners and his Assassins, which would be a huge pain in the neck. Pangea, less of a pain in the neck because he's weaker. I think I might be able to handle Pangea, but Satis would be a problem. The Foul Vapors, the Assassins. Now, my Detons could do a lot of work. Like, don't get me wrong. These guys would wreck shop. But I don't think they'd make it. I think eventually, overall, they would go down. So, I would prefer just to not have that war. If there's going to be a war with Satis, the war that I want is Satis hastily invading me in a desperate bid to stop me from accomplishing my goal and being a couple turns late. Which I think I can probably accomplish. I think. It's a gamble, but everything's a gamble. And we're really well set up geographically speaking. I mean, we've got that throne on lock. We've got that throne on lock. This throne's a little precarious, but we are pumping a whole lot of siege defense into it, so we should be able to hold it pretty well. This throne is locked down. This throne, once again, precarious, so I'm going to have to leave defenders here. This throne, very precarious, but we're not going to have to hold it for long. And then this throne, of course, we only have to hold for one turn. And we can, from here... 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think we can quite cloud trap from there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can cloud trap ease from... Yeah, we can cloud trap ease from Millgate, so I need to build a lab there. Or from Black Alps. So we have a couple ways to get a throne claimant over to the new coast. We can either use a hash mall if I can recruit one, or we can cloud trap ease or sneak in Wilbur Post. Wearing, like, if in human form, in dwarf form, rather, he can wear a Shade Mail Habergeon, which will make him stealthy. Or, he can, of course, just cast Cloud Trapeze and hop over there as I assault the fort, and capture it, and claim the throne on that turn before anybody can stop us. So, I think we have a plan. We have a plan that could work. Ways in which this plan could fail. If Nuclear Monkey realizes what we're doing and turns his armies around and invades me, like, in the next few turns, in the next, like, 3 or 4 turns, then we're going to have trouble. If Nazca and Mechlin invade us in the next couple of turns, then we're going to have trouble. But if we can stop those things, if those things don't happen, then I think we'll be in a pretty good place. Because, like, Nazca's Sacreds are going to struggle to kill my thugs if we set them up properly. They're also going to struggle a little bit. They're going to struggle less, but they will still struggle some to deal with my armies, because my armies will have a ton of skeletons. And they'll just have to chop through tons and tons of chaff, and since they're not very defensive, they'll be taking damage the whole time. So I think we can do this. Anyway, that's going to be the turn 44. If everything goes to code, we should be making the final approach around, let me think, 2 turns there. It's actually going to be the scouts are going to be what's delaying us. Because we've got 3 scouts. It's going to be 3 turns there, so that'll be turn 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. Turn 53 is going to be D-Day. That's the turn on which I could make my assault on the new coast, depending on what's there. I'm actually going to move all of these scouts up towards Felicia. Yeah, so turn 53 would be the earliest we could do it. So 8 turns. Good, that means this video won't be out when it happens. Yeah, so long as I do it before turn 58. It'll be, right? 58, right? Yeah. Okay. Alright, so... Boy, I'm a little bit nervous about this. Alright, that's gonna be it for today. I'll see you all in turn 45. Okay. I'm gonna say it. Start your countdown clocks. This is the beginning of the end. We're moving in. Ulm is forging is forging the holy boosters. I am sending more fire gems to him. I'm saving just enough fire gems that I can empower Ishbi Benob in fire. I just got my Astral Random Talmai Elder just in time. So I'm going to save enough gems to empower him in fire next turn, which will cost me 50 fire, and then I'll have to build up gems in order to summon a Hashmal, who will really, really help us as a fast-flying throne claimer. We've got this throne we need to claim. I'm stacking slaves onto it. I'm actually not hardly... I'm barely recruiting mages. I'm still recruiting Jade Sorceresses here in an effort to get a random 2 nature. And I am still recruiting Crystal Sorceresses to serve as communion slaves. And that's actually it. I'm not recruiting any other mages. I am, however, pumping out human slaves in a number of my forts. And the reason that I'm doing that is to use them as really, really cheap siege chaff. Everyone contributes half a point of siege defense to my forts. I am building a giant palisade in Black Alps and a lab. I'm going to move up and take Kani's Plain. Looking at the messages. In Chilad, my Ditanu, the real Slim Shady, charged in and took out this throne. He was equipped with 15 shock resistance. And he blessed himself to give himself 10 more, so he was up to 25, which wasn't enough to make him actually entirely invulnerable to shock attacks. You can always roll really, really high, but he was effectively invulnerable to them. So the real Slim Shady, see right there, he took a Thunder Strike, and he took 10 damage from that Thunder Strike, and he received a Never Healing Wound, which gave him 20% HP reduction and stunned him for a while, but his high protection, etherealness, and 25 shock resistance, and the awe proved enough to prevent the enemy from being able to actually hurt him much at all. So, the real Slim Shady fought his way through with his Sword of Swiftness and his headbutt attack from his Horned Helmet. His Blood Surge, with his Blood Surge active, his attacks are ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous. His defense skill, even with this huge harassed penalty, is still pretty high. Well, or at least acceptable. And he has the Astral Shield as well to paralyze people who attack him. So, he basically just cut his way through. He killed the Anunnaki of the Sky in literally, I think, one round. Yeah, he was hit once. And popped the Mist Form with the first hit. He actually did 8 points of damage past the Mist Form. Then he hit him again, cut off his arm, and hit him with the Gore. All in the same round. He missed. I guess it took 2 rounds. It technically took 2 rounds for him to kill him. And then, look at him like, that spastic twitching, that's the repel attempts going off at triple speed. So he's just repelling hit after hit after hit after hit, and just murdering everyone. He is down to 39 HP. He took another random hit somewhere in the mix there. I think he takes one more hit before all is said and done, but at this point, the enemy routes. The Horse Tribe Cavalry, being Kidu, they can't keep up with the real Slim Shady. So, he's done it again. So, we've taken the Throne of Knowledge. We do need to claim it. Also, the real Slim Shady is now a hero. He has heroic valor, which doesn't help him because his morale is 30, but at least it pushes his leadership up, I guess. So, the real Slim Shady is defending Chilad for now. I need to... I'm waiting with him. I'm going to have Ulm move some troops in and then hand it over to Ulm to defend. And we are going to just stack massive quantities of troops onto the thrones. I may also hand over this one, I'm not sure yet, but Countdown to the Apocalypse is, as I said, occurring. We're building our fort and lab up here. Going to take this throne. After we take this throne, we have scouts sneaking up here. We're going to be getting some gate cleavers sent to us, and then we will go up here to the new coast to take it as well. We will basically smash our army through any opposition. I will have to do some better scripting, but we've got several Anakites. We've got a number of thugs, super combatants, really. Tupac is finally casting Pyre of Catharsis to save himself. Unfortunately, he is limping battle fright and has lost an arm. So, could be better. We'll see, though. I will save him at least, at the very least, since I have hit... I'm going to hit Alteration 7 next turn. He'll be able to cast Phoenix Pyre and do some stuff that way. Childish Gambino is waiting for the last pieces of his kit before he heads out. He's geared up okay, but he could do with having a better weapon than a Mace of Eruption. So Childish Gambino we're going to gear up and send out as well. And he is also lucky, which is nice. And up here we're piling up more troops and shifting them down to Vokam, which right now has 31 siege defense. We're shifting troops over to the Promised Land, which has 35, because it has some giants in it. And we're piling up troops on Black Alps as well. We've got pretty significant troops already piled up on Scorpion Cracks. We're up to 155 siege defense. However, we are going to take Rami's here. He has another 40 units with only 0.3 siege defense each, actually, because they are undisciplined. The human slaves have more. But still, this will contribute another, I think, like 15 or so siege defense. So he'll stack them up in Scorpion Cracks as well, and that will help. As I said, we're recruiting no mages here. Not even any of my capital-only mages. And in a way, it could be argued that this is a mistake, because it leaves me open if somebody stops the rush. But if somebody stops the rush, I think probably Nazca is going to win anyway. So Nazca, without having to worry about us as much, Nazca and Mictlan have returned to just kicking the absolute shit out of everyone who's fighting them. Lucid is getting the crap kicked out of him. There was a battle in Bandar Log. He's lost 2 provinces in his cap circle, and the fortification in Morn is under siege. So Lucid is having a bad day. I am going to have to defend this throne very, very heavily because that's one that Nazca could get to quite easily. We're also going to have to defend this throne very heavily and this throne. So these 3 are my big worries. This one only has to be defended against Pangaea. Now Pangaea can pull off some tricky stuff, and we are right next door to a fort of theirs. 2 forts actually, but I'm less worried about Black Alps, if only because Pangaea can't jump as much as Nazca and Mictlan can. They don't have as many flying troops. They can't cross as much territory in a single turn. And if I do this right, 1 or 2 turns is all my opponents will get. So we are going to grab Kani's Plain in the coming turn. After that, as I said, it's going to be a matter of taking my troops over here and basically just ramming them through 3 provinces to get to the new coast. Or stealthing them through if possible, which I don't think is going to be possible. I think the thugs have to smash their way through. So, that is going to be the interesting bit. That's what the Hashmal will help, because the Hashmal will be able to jump in and make sure we can claim the thing almost immediately. I'm also going to have to distribute a couple more, the other 2 holy boosters to Adon's, which does mean I think that's probably actually going to be Tupac's role. Tupac still has 1 arm, so he can still carry the Immaculate Shield, and that will boost him to holy level 3. I also do have Grave Tongue available, and Grave Tongue, of course, is holy level 2, so we can boost him to holy level 3 with the Sword of Injustice or something. The Sword of Injustice. I don't think I pronounced that properly. My Ditanu are not. My Ditanu are only holy level 1, so I don't have to worry about them. So the real Slim Shady can just go fighting. Childish Gambino can go fighting. Where is my other Ditanu? I had 3. Where's my 3rd Ditanu? I am a little bit baffled. Could have sworn I had 3 of those guys. If I am missing a Ditan for no particular reason... Oh, duh. Old Dirty Bastard's over here. That's right. Old Dirty Bastard is gonna go down here, and he will help hold Scorpion Cracks. And he may actually launch a solo invasion of Mictlan. Need to get him some shock resist gear in order to do that, but that would kind of keep me on the straight and narrow as far as Satis is concerned. But yeah, I do need to get him a probably I give him a copper plate is what I do. Either a copper plate or a storm spool. But I, of course, cannot forge either of those because I have no air. Ulm should get me one. I think Ulm's already getting me one, and if he's not, he should, so we'll organize that. But yeah, with some shock resist gear, Old Dirty Bastard will absolutely be able to carve his way through Nazca and Mictlan for a little while. And so I might do that with him, cause disruption, and kind of put them on the back foot. Now, of course, I do need them to stay focused on the enemy, on Satis. There was a battle in Lithia, which Satis technically won. However, in the process of winning, they lost a High Priest and 2 Marshmasters, plus about half of their relatively small army. They did, however... Sorry if you just heard something, I hit my mic. They did, however, kill a fair number of Eagle Warriors, but once again, Eagle Warriors are cheap. Eagle Warriors are very, very replaceable. Losing 18 Eagle Warriors is like losing 18 infantry. It doesn't actually slow Mictlan down at all. He cast Foul Vapors, I guess. Yeah, he cast Foul Vapors. So that would definitely have helped the whole situation. It was Foul Vapors and Skill Spam, but Not a ton of skill spam. One of the Marsh Masters actually got aced by an arrow right there because he does no defensive buffs. Then here come the Eagle Warriors. They kill the other Marsh Master. And these Wraith Lords back here. This one has been enlarged. Interesting. Okay. And they're just spamming skeletons. Okay. Well, fair enough. In Stone Heavens, Independence took this province from Ulm. In Ulm, a lumber construct bounced off of the province defense. I did... Finally, that's right, I finally got rid of that monster boar that was in Vanheim. So yeah, it was a monster boar that was here causing unrest. And so we finally managed to hunt it down with a huge pile of dudes. And my giants ran in and stabbed it to death very, very easily. So yay me, go me. In Nilmeria, this is Bandar Log's army moving through towards Marignan, Mari's former capital. And to be honest, I'm not too impressed with it. Like, if this is Lucid's best, then no wonder he's losing to the birds. I mean, no wonder anybody's losing to the birds. The birds are extremely powerful. But he's got a whole bunch of these light Bandar warriors arranged in chunks. He's got some gurus and a yogi and a brahmin. A couple of yogis, actually. So yogis are the weaker mages. Gurus are the more powerful ones. Excuse me, got a yawn there. And the gurus are geared to cast Swarm. And they're not even actually communing up, interestingly. So they all basically etherealize people. And they cast Body Ethereal a lot. They don't actually cast Swarm here. They threw Strength of Giants down on some people. They've got some white ones that they didn't bother to bless. These guys are blessed. You can see they still don't have the Ethereal, so Mari's... of course, they can't get Mari's God back until the capital, Marignan, is recaptured. And he was the one who was carrying their bless. Now, at this point in the game, getting Mari's God back at all is extremely iffy. But basically, I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, I'm not worried about these people. Like, it does not... This army, I can kill this army with one thug. Well, to be fair, with the Strength of Giants, they do a ton of damage, so they could probably whittle down one thug, because my thugs do not have regeneration, which is actually a serious weakness. It's a significant lack in terms of thug kit. But, I don't know. I'm just not too concerned about this. What else happened in Omia? That was the battle we saw. This is actually my other Ditan taking out these knights that had conquered this province. And so this is Old Dirty Bastard going in. And you can see he blesses himself. He drops Iron Skin, so he's up to Protection 30. And Temper Flesh, so he's taking half damage. He gets that done just before the cavalry hits. And then he charges in. And between the Ethereal, his Repel, and the Temper Flesh, he takes almost no damage. He's taken 1 damage on 2 separate hits at this point. And it's not too concerning. Now, like I said, if that was Bandar doing 30 damage a whop, he would have probably taken about, like, 10 points of damage, something like that. 10 to 15. So he would get whittled down over time. But, like I said, I'm not really too concerned about it. Oh, and in Omia, Old Dirty Bastard was the victim of an assassination attempt. A terrifying and spooky ghost has come to try and kill him. And, didn't go well. Did not go well for that ghost. So, yeah, that's basically how I move this turn. I'm pumping out slaves to stack onto my thrones. I am surging troops over into this side to take Canese Plain and to prep. And my cover here is that I'm prepping to take Marignan. Because I don't think Lucid can take it. So I'm going to be like, okay, Lucid, take your shot. Go for it. But then I'm building up an army in case you fail. And realistically, what I'm building up the army for is, of course, to shove it down his throat and go take the new coast. But he doesn't need to know that. As far as he's concerned, I can be building up an army to go take Marignan. Which is, like, perfectly realistic-ish. You know, that's reasonable. It's believable. A reasonable person would believe that. They don't need to know. So that is the plan. And we'll see how it goes. I think the rush, such as it is, should all be over within the next 10 turns. It'll take a turn to take that. We'll build up troops here and here. It'll take 2 more turns, I think. Actually, they'll be hitting here next turn, but I think it'll take a turn after that to get the gate cleavers. So they'll be here. This turn, at least 3 of them will pick up gate cleavers. Then, so that's turn 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. So turn 53 is when the gate cleavers can hit this province. And I have to assume that I'm going to need the gate cleavers because I have to assume that Lucid is going to stack defenses in the new coast once he realizes what I'm up to. Now, he won't realize what I'm up to. Like, I can go here because that's next to Marignan. So that's turn 51. Turn 52, uh-oh, all of a sudden, assuming I've done my job right, turn 52, it becomes clear what's happening. Turn 53, I break the fort. Turn 54, I assault the fort and conquer it. Once again, this is if everything goes to plan. So turn 54, 9 turns from now, the attack on the fort with my army, led by my Zamzomites, my thugs, and with a communion behind it. And that same turn, we cloud trapeze or fly in a throne claimer, either Wilbur Post or somebody else, or a Hashmal carrying a holy booster. So turn 54, fort taken. I claim the throne that turn. And simultaneously, we claim whatever other thrones remain unclaimed. Probably this one and this one, I would imagine. If we pull that off, then we win. The other alternative is, assuming the timing works out, which I'm not sure it can, if this whole army, if we go up there, so 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, we could potentially hit a couple of turns earlier on turn 51. But that's about as early as it can be. This is definitely the limiter. And I am really, really missing my Buddhas right now. My stealthy, Skella-spamming, Magma Eruption casting, raiding mages. I wish Ashdod had them, but if that was true, then Ashdod would just be completely broken instead of kinda moderately more or less broken. Or at least powerful, rather. Ashdod isn't really broken as a nation, it's just powerful. So, that's the plan. And we will see if we can execute it. So we've got the Throne of Knowledge under control. We've got the Throne of Eternal Suffering under control. That leaves, looking at what thrones it is that we're going for. So we've got Eternal Suffering, we've got Knowledge. We have the Second Age already under control. So that leaves Gaia and Abundance. And whichever one that other one is, it should be right. I'm so paranoid, I have to count again. 2, 4, 6, 9, because we need 13. So yeah, we'll have both of these. Yeah, because he hasn't claimed that throne at all. So, but I know it's at least 2 points. So 1, 2, 4. Let's say it's the Throne of Gaia. 6. Have I miscounted? Wait. One second. That's 3 points. That's 5 points. This is going to be a level 3. Or it could be a level 2. I think the Throne of Gaia has been activated earlier in this game. No, this could be a level 2. Okay, so let's say that's a level 2. So 3, 5, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yes, that works. That's fine. Never mind, I was panicking myself for a second. Okay, I'm sorry. That's like almost an OCD behavior at this point. I have to make sure that I've gotten it right, because otherwise we're going to screw ourselves by doing that and handing the game over to the Condors and then find out, oh, actually, we don't have the points to do what we wanted to do. But no, as long as we have everything we've got plus this, we win. So, okay. That's the plan. I'll see you all on turn 46.